What do you know about Jamaica? Hmm? You know the story of Nanny? The Maroons? She was a shanty, you know. She came over in chains. But she never forgot who she was. She never forgot the old ways. Nanny kept the science alive, see? In the British, they put them in sugarcane fields, beat them, and rape them. But the Maroons resisted. They broke their chains. And they ran to the hills. In the Blue Mountains, they live off the land. And Nanny, she would lead raids to the other plantations. And they would still back the women and children. So they could raise families out of captivity. They cut the heads off their oppressors and put them on spikes to put them on notice. No white man was safe. They become masters of camouflage, cover themselves in leaves, still as trees, before they struck in the darkness. Yeah, the British, they had the technology, but the Maroons had the will, the determination, the magic. They fought off the British for 80 years and won. That is the true birth of the real Jamaica. Resistance, independence, fire.
Good afternoon, Brother Sinclair. This is Brother Kwaku sending this peaceful message in the middle of the road. In the middle of the road because I'm not home. I'm sending this message from Holland to my people in Jamaica to hear the voice of a brother asking for peace and harmony, asking for the spirit of oneness, the spirit of unity, to gather our strength because the battle is not yet finished. We are the living and we can make way for the generations to come. Therefore, we have to understand who we are under the sun, to see and know that the battle is not ended, for the enemy is not tired. Therefore, we need not to divide. We need not to fight among ourselves. But the best thing we can do is to have the spirit of unity, to share together fun and ideas, to laugh our teeth out, to prove to the enemy that no matter what he thinks he can do, we are still alive and we still live. Jamaica, we know our story. We know where we come from, and we know where we can go. There is no need for us to sit and think that we belong to ourselves. We belong to one another. We belong to the spirit of unity, because Jamaica is the power of the black man. Jamaica is the representation of the spirit of Africa, because Jamaica is full of prophets and prophetess. Jamaica is full of prophets and prophetess. Jamaica stands for the wisdom of the black race. So if there is any division in Jamaica, then the whole African continent is in problem. I therefore embark on the spirit of our ancestors, that the territorial spirit in Jamaica which has been infiltrated by spirits from outside, trying to create divisions among the people, should move out. As from this very day, as Brother Kwaku is speaking from here, I'm speaking as a representative of our ancestors, because we know that the prophets and the prophetess of the black race are in Jamaica, and they are light for the black people. Therefore, don't forget your story, Jamaica. I speak today to draw the attention of the people to the fact that since time immemorial, the trials and the tribulations, the afflictions and the problems that we have passed through has strengthened us to come to today. Problems are not something that is new to us. We know what it is. But no matter how rough the sea is, the fish can swim. We can swim in every problem because we believe that Jamaicans are conquerors, and a conqueror will never fight a loose battle. Therefore, what is the cause of these divisions in Jamaica that people are killing one another? How come that prophets are killing prophets and prophetess are killing prophetess, and a conqueror is killing another conqueror? One Jamaican represents a battalion in the black race. So if you take the life of one Jamaican, you have killed more than 1,000 people. Therefore, Jamaica live and live long. Find to identify the problem. It doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter where. There is a solution to every problem. As one people with one destiny, represented in the whole continent of Africa, I therefore plead and I put my prayer to all Jamaicans that let there be peace. If I have wings like the dove, I will fly over the sea, over the mountains and the valleys, over the lakes, and come there. But if you can hear my voice, take it as my presence. I'm representing the Ashantis here in Netherlands, the Ashanti heritage. And soon and very soon we will travel over there to sit and discuss every problem among our fellow brothers and sisters. For our heart is weakened to hear the problems going on in Jamaica. It is unacceptable. It doesn't matter what. Still, let there be peace. For the prophets have sung the songs. We have listened, and we know that Jamaica is the light in the darkness for the black people. Therefore, if there is a fight among one another there in Jamaica, then we don't have any future. The ancestors who has been with us, and they are with us, and will be with us, will guide you from this very day. As I'm talking, the Spirit is there. Let those who have ears listen and love one another. Unity is selfless. Forget about yourself. A prophet and a prophetess do not look for luxurious life. Prophets are representatives of the people. They sacrifice their life. They are the light. They are spiritual representative of the black race. Therefore, Jamaica, each and every one of you is a prophet and a prophetess. Therefore, don't look for luxurious life alone, but look how you can emancipate your people from problems. Look how you can emancipate Africa. For if there is unity in Jamaica, there is unity in Africa. If there is unity in Jamaica, there is unity among all black people in diaspora. If there is unity in Jamaica, there is power and strength and courage and might and happiness in the spirit of all Africans, both the living and the dead. As I'm talking now, I know that there will be a change, and the change must come because the change is necessary. The change is necessary because Jamaica can emancipate Africa. Jamaica can set the black people free. Live as representatives bodies of the black people. For the knowledge that Jamaica has is more than all the other nations in the black world. Jamaicans have wisdom, and wisdom is better than silver and gold. Jamaicans are holy because they don't infiltrate in the spirit of the world that drive people to sin. And if Jamaicans will represent, good will conquer evil. And the black man can put on his clothes and jubilate and dance to the tune of the music. It's my first step to you through Sinclair. And I know that sometime, somewhere, someday, you will see my presence there in Jamaica, and we share together fun and we eat together. And we will pour the holy libation to incarnate and to bring back the spirit that we have lost. How can we do that? We can only do that when there is unity. We can only do that when there is harmony. We can only do that when there is peace. We can only do that when there is respect. Respect one another and let the killings stop. As I chant down here in Babylon and I'm beating my drums in Babylon, the spirit is being transferred there to bring down every spirit that is fighting among fellow brothers there in Jamaica. Jah guide, live long. Let there be peace among the people in Jamaica. One love. Now I'll beat the talking drums to our ancestors, that hearing these drums, let them sink into your spirit and then rejuvenate your spirit as a revival point to gather your strength and to level your strokes upon the foe, the enemy. Who is the enemy? The enemy is the spirit within that is telling you to kill your brother. Who is the enemy? The enemy is the spirit within that is telling you to have problems with your brother. Who is the enemy? The enemy is the spirit within that is telling you to fight among your sisters. So tell the enemy within that if you listen to me, there is peace. Listen to yourself. Don't fear. Stand firm and let's move forward.
No boy can't tell me them have love more than me. My nation have the most love. Alright. Cause me neglect all my God to blood class and I praise a white God and I call him all Jesus to show you me I give me love this son. When I get a beaten and down a bomber ass clot. Me I telling you black people, watch when a blood clot do to you know. Me say me go Japan and Japanese praise a God will look like them, look same Japanese looks like them. You go America praise a white man will look like them, have him parliament actor. China the same thing, Indian people have God will look like them. So why me the black man can't praise a black God? Why me the black man have to praise your white God and come church, come praise your Jesus? And where you having the Bible I come from Africa. I was before. I had the conquering lion, the tribe of Judah. Emperor Haile Selassie.
Brothers and sisters of Jamaica, I greet you with the fire of the ancestors burning in my chest and the red dust of Burkina Faso still on my boots. I come not as a head of state speaking to a foreign people, but as a son of Africa reaching out to his kin across the sea. I come as a revolutionary brother who recognizes in your struggles the reflections of our own. I come to honor your pain, salute your courage, and share in your enduring vision of freedom, from Ouagadougou to Kingston. From the Sahel winds to the tropical breeze of the Caribbean, we are bound by the same ancestral drumbeat. We are the children of ancient civilizations disrupted by conquest, torn by slavery, and tested by imperial deception. Yet we are also the descendants of those who never bowed, the Maroons who defied empire, the Burkinabe who rose with Sankara, the freedom fighters whose spirits still roam our hills, mountains, and deserts. Our story is not one of defeat, it is one of unbroken resistance. Jamaica, you are not small. You are mighty in memory, in rhythm, in soul. You are the flame that has kept burning in the night of oppression. You are the defiance of Queen Nanny, the vision of Marcus Garvey, the revolution of sound that came from Peter Tosh and Bob Marley. Your island is not isolated, it is a beacon, a fortress of the African spirit in the Atlantic. When I listen to Bob Marley, I do not hear entertainment, I hear sacred instruction. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. These words echo in every occupied corner of our continent. For while the chains of iron were broken long ago, the chains of the mind still hold many of us hostage. They come not with soldiers, but with debt. They come not with whips, but with NGOs. They do not enforce submission through colonial laws, but through economic blackmail, cultural domination, and the silencing of truth. Africa knows this well. In Burkina Faso, we buried Thomas Sankara, a son of the soil who dared to dream aloud. He spoke of self-reliance, dignity, and anti-imperialism. For that, they killed him. Not just foreign agents, but collaborators from within. That is the great tragedy of our times. That betrayal too often wears a familiar face. Yet the flame he lit has not died. It has moved from village to village, heart to heart, until once again, the people have stood and said, enough. We are reclaiming our voice, our resources, our futures. And in doing so, we recognize the same spirit in you, Jamaica. Jamaica, your story is Africa's story. Your maroons are our freedom fighters. Your sugar fields mirror our cotton plantations. Your stolen children found themselves on ships whose sails were soaked in blood. And yet you built music from suffering, wisdom from wounds, and solidarity from struggle. Peter Tosh roared, I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. This is not a protest, it is a prophecy. Peace without justice is the silence of the oppressed. We do not want handouts. We want fairness. We want truth. We want the world to see us not as problems to manage, but as partners in the shaping of a new global reality. But the system is not neutral. The West did not become powerful through diplomacy alone. It gained its wealth from stolen labor, looted resources, and conquered minds. And when we resist, they do not hesitate to destabilize, discredit, or destroy. We have seen it with Lumumba, with Nkrumah, with Gaddafi, and again with every African nation that tries to stand upright. And yet, they fear our unity. They fear the moment when Africa and the Caribbean, when the children of the diaspora and the children of the continent recognize that we are one. That fear is justified, for that moment has arrived. You are not a dot on a map. You are not a nation of 9 parishes. You are not just reggae and beaches. You are the heartbeat of a global consciousness. Your resistance echoes from Accra to Addis Ababa. Your pride feeds the souls of those still struggling to walk upright in a world built to keep them crawling. Jamaica, your youth are warriors of knowledge, of rhythm, of revolution. Do not wait to be told you matter. Stand, create, mobilize, build cooperatives, guard your land. Teach your children the stories not found in colonial textbooks. Let them know their lineage is not one of shame, but of unmatched strength. To the elders, we thank you. Your memory is sacred. You who remember when resistance had a cost, when black skin was a target, when black thought was a threat, you are the living libraries of our struggle. Your wisdom is our blueprint. Tell us the names they tried to erase. Sing the songs they feared. Carry the flames they tried to extinguish. To the leaders I offer a challenge. Be not middlemen for empire. Be not brokers of foreign interest. Be servants of the people. Build economies that feed your people, not your bank accounts. Reject policies that silence the poor to please the powerful. Know that history will remember, and it will judge. To the artists, the poets, the musicians, be prophets. Do not let your art be tamed by the market. Create not for profit alone, but for liberation. Let your verses be swords. Let your paintings be protests. Let your lyrics carry the rage, the joy, the dreams of the people. To the farmers, thank you. You who still understand the sacredness of land. You who feed nations while the world turns to artificial convenience. You are the keepers of true wealth. To the women queens of our lineage, warriors of our future, you are not background. You are not support. You are leaders. Raise your voices. Guard your daughters. Shape the policies. Lead the movements. Without you, there is no revolution. Let us build a new axis not of exploitation, but of solidarity. Let our trade routes carry cassava and yam, not cocaine and guns. Let our classrooms teach African literature and Caribbean poetry. Let our children know that they are heirs not to trauma, but to greatness. Let us declare an end to being laboratories for foreign experiments. Let us fund our own research, heal our own wounds, tell our own stories, trust our own instincts, celebrate our own holidays, honor our own gods. Let us imagine the future. A Jamaica with food sovereignty, universal education, and dignified housing. A Burkina Faso with clean water, just laws, and strong institutions. A global black community that does not beg but builds, that does not apologize but asserts. Let this be our mission, not nostalgia, but forward motion. Not despair, but defiance. Not revenge, but reconstruction. The drums have never stopped. The ancestors are watching. The youth are rising. The soil is still rich. The dream is still alive. One Africa, one Caribbean, one struggle, one destiny. Thank you.
Go through this job. During the time of the truth. And my helpers are the place is noisy. You go through this during that time. One, you will lose your identity as an African. You will lose your culture, respect, dignity, everything. And from here, most of the campuses were taken to North America. Some ended up in Liverpool, England. Some to Bristol, Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago. But those taken to Brazil, Brazilians passed through a leader capsule, through the hands of the Portuguese. Some Brazilians were taken from Angola, East Africa. As you talk about Suriname, Haiti, Dutch Guyana, Rasa, most of those islands, those taken a pass through a unit in the hands of the guy. And history has it that Brazil received the largest number of slaves. Brazil got 47% of the entire slaves from Africa. And Brazil is the second largest black population in the whole world, second to Nigeria. Now, I did not mention Jamaica. You know why? Because slaves were not taken from any particular castle to Jamaica. No. Jamaica was founded as a result of individual enslaved Africans who rebelled against European plantation owners on the coast, on the British colonies. So if you are in Barbados, you are in forever, and you are fighting, will be taken from there to Jamaica. So they were not taken from this particular castle, they were selected or given to the rest.
Hold on, again, let me answer that. So Jamaicans were not taken direct, slaves to Jamaica were not taken directly from any particular castle.
But they were individual captives who were fighting Europeans on the farms, in the plantation.
All over, in the Caribbean, the West Indies, Brazil, the Americas.
So
and Jamaica was the place to carry the rebellious ones, the fighters.
They were taken there. It was a form of punishment. That is why up to now, the easy fight.
Say that again? You said that's why
the Jamaicans up to today.
Yes.
21st century.
Yes.
They are not the easy fight. They are very, very I don't know how to say. Aggressive. They are aggressive. They are very aggressive.
Yo.
Serious. We are glad to have you here, right? What is the true origin of the name Jamaica, and is there any validity to the Ghanaian interpretation in Twi?
First thing I would say, I think with this Taino thing and Jamaica, I think this has to be said first. I think sometimes because we don't always know intellectually the stuff will come from Africa, if it's not like right in your face, we kind of just attribute it to the indigenous people, like the Taino, Arawa, whatever you call them, right? But what we have to understand is that the Spanish run them out and kill them off. Most of them in Jamaica. Some parts of the Caribbean did different, but Jamaica, them kill off most of them. So they wouldn't have the kind of impact people assume. I think that's very important to emphasize because I think that, culturally, they really, and physically, because this is literal genocide. These people, Christopher Columbus is a genocidal person, like he's a murderer, really. So we have to kind of keep that in mind in terms of how we estimate that impact. So going into the name Jamaica, the origin, the root of it. So I came across an article, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I come across this article where them say, even when you look up the actual in the language, the meaning with a water doesn't really match Yamaka. So that's not even accurate. I can't remember the article, but I will find it and I can send it to you and you can probably post it in the link or whatever. And what they said was when you actually look at the Akan context, it actually makes sense. Like Yamayaka, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's like perhaps we stuck yaso or something like that. But Yamayaka makes more sense with Jamaica and Akan, because the Akan presence in Jamaica was so strong, not only demographically, strong numerically speaking, but it was strong linguistically speaking. All the Maroon have their languages based on a type of tree. Tree is an Akan language. Part of it, I think, is Fanti tree or Santi tree. One of them are the base of the Maroon language in Jamaica. So it's that strong. And then when you have the other Jamaica stuff, we have a lot of Akan presence. So it's very strong. So that makes more sense that it would be Jamaica. So I think what's happening when you're having Ghanaians who know their context and they're encountering stuff in Jamaica or Jamaican people, things just start to roll and they start to click. You know what I mean? So the Jamaica as a origin for Jamaica would make more sense based on the nature of the Black people who are coming from the continent into Jamaica. Because you got to remember, because people like to talk about them mixed, this. Jamaican people are not mixed people. We're mixed with different kind of Black people from the continent or different kind of African people. Like you have Akan, you have Congo, you have Igbo. That's why we say Unu, right? Come from Igbo. So we have all these kind of mix of different African people. That is the mix that make Jamaica. So a Jamaican is really an African created by a bunch of other Africans in the island, what we call Jamaica or originally Jamaica, right?
I always wondered about that when I was younger because they do promote it as the motto is many people, right? But still to this day, it's over 90% Black people. So I don't see how that small number of non-Black people pushed them to make this motto that there's this great diversity down there.
You sound like I just know I know your question is serious because there's some things that come to mind. Like I like to compare Haiti, what we call Haiti, to Jamaica. How Haiti liberated itself or broke colonialism was, them war with the French and beat them and thumped them and all them things there. So Haiti, their constitution, they don't have no one out of many people because it's, it was a black movement, right? Very clearly, decidedly. Independence in Jamaica was really anchored, like I would say administrative independence, because that's really what we are doing is administrative independence. So the people that pushed for the administrative independence were the mixed race people, the mulatto, the brown people like Bustamante and Norman Manley. That's why Michael Norman, I rate none of them. I just want to say that from the top. But you can see that that's who created the one out of many people motto. It's whose interest is being served. And this is, the mulatto and, their white benefactors. That's who picked the motto set up that way. It's clearly not started by the Black people. And that's why I think the contrast between Haiti and Jamaica is so important, because you see how Haiti got independence was, Nana Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who said, look, this is a Black nation, right? You see their constitution, certain things were one, and Haiti is different than Jamaica for certain reasons. So I think that contrast is important.
I want to jump back to the origins of the word Jamaica in the Ghanaian context, right? Was the word made during the Atlantic slave trade or did it exist prior?
I think the expression, from what I gather and what I've been able to research, and just my familiarity with Tree and talking with other scholars like Obenfo Bale, Kamban, we've had on your show a number of times, it seems like it's consistent with the language itself. So in terms...
Yeah, see you later. We consider this a very special place called Cockpit Country, which is regarded as the last remaining wilderness area in Jamaica.